Good evening, sport fans. I screwed that start up. I had a whole bit planned when I was going to say about good evening, sports fans, and I was going to get excited about how. Anyway, let's go back in time. Pretend I didn't start that stream, okay? Right?
Yeah.
We ready?
Yeah. I think so. Are you?
God no. Evening, sports fans. It's going to be a doozy. We're here live from Pontyclean, and so yeah. Anyway. I screwed it all up, Dave. I screwed it all up. It's going
you were
badly.
doing so well that second
I know.
time.
Do
you need a third?
I don't need a third. I can't.
No,
I just can't do it. I'm still ill, Dave.
You are.
How am I still ill?
Like a real gladiator, like a real sportsman, you are ready to jump into.
I'm ready to go into this dev shootout. We haven't done this for a while. Last season was an incredible season. What a season, Dave. What a season.
I mean, it's the highs, the lows. I think we wept a couple of times. It was real. It was
real. I mean, I think so. It was a story of adversary and coming from the bottom and pushing, your way to the top. And I think I lost every one apart from the last one, and then I took the crown. Yes. Yeah. So yeah. Let's get going. Now, this season, second season, there's going to be some rules. We're going to change the rules up a bit. So
because what's fun without rules, right? That's just
nothing is fun without rules. We're game designers. We design rules. So the rules are going to be we're going to have half an hour each, and I think we're going to use mastermind rules. So if you've started a run, you finish it.
Yes,
at the end of the 30 minutes. You're going to time my stuff, and then I'm going to time your stuff. There's no limit to upgrades, apart from I am only using upgrades I have unlocked myself, so I haven't cheated my way to my upgrades here.
Okay.
And this is what we're going to do every month. We're going to do the first stream being Cycle 28, and then we can use the monthly leaderboard, because you can see on the monthly leaderboard me and Dave currently, so no dice is Dave here. We both have 0, so we can use this to keep track of what's going on. So that's what we're going to do, and it'll give us a chance, I think, to talk about what we're doing outside of just discussing the games that we're playing. So it gives us it's like a bit of a Pillbug catch up.
I think that's a fair way to describe it.
Yeah, so do you have a timer or stopwatch?
I want to be that guy in the Gladiators, right? So, Gladiators ready.
Yeah, sure, I'm ready.
Yeah, that kind of guy. But, I'll just say, when you're ready, just...
So, I think we time from the moment that I click start for the first run.
I love how precise you're being about this.
Yeah, I'm I come from a physics background. Yeah, and hello everyone that's in the chat. It let us know if there's any problems with the audio. And yeah, through the magic of production, we're going to switch to Dave halfway through.
Fingers crossed.
I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so right. So my first, awesome, thanks. The first thing I'm doing is upgrades. I'm going to go with rear gunner and multi-shot, because that's what I did my last month's run on, and I think I got a pretty good score with that. So, Dave, tell me when to start.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1, cycle.
Okay, I already screwed up.
Yeah, you're losing valuable seconds.
Yeah. Right. Okay,
so obviously on the stream in the past, we've tried to kind of have both of us chatting at the same time, talking about stuff, and that's going to happen too as well, but you'll probably hear a lot more from me while Sean's playing, and vice versa. So
yeah, I mean, for these first couple of runs, I'm pretty chill. I'm going to feel it a bit.
Yeah.
You know how Michael Schumacher would go out and just kind of feel the track.
The old warm-up lap. Yeah.
See,
yeah, I mean, because
this is going terribly so far, so there's no way that this is going to be the run.
Yeah. Okay. Sean also forgot to mention that I've got the Pillbug whiteboard, that classic piece of tech that we make good use of here at Pillbug. So I will be recording as well each score that we do, And so that's going to knock a little bit of time off my runs, but I'm confident I can scribble a score quickly, as well as
well,
so that we can see how we do over the evening. I like that idea.
Okay, cool. We could. Oh my god, we could draw graphs.
Yeah, that's definitely your department. You are head of graphs department. So yeah, by all means, do that. But yeah, as you can hear, poor Sean is having to deal with quite a nasty cold. So we're not gonna hold that too much against him.
I figure it's a win-win situation for me, because if I lose, I can say, well, it was the cold, and if I win, then that's like I won with a cold.
Yeah, you're right. It is that. You're quite right. That is win-win.
So I'm kind of like I'm coming in the reigning champion, and I've got this advantage.
I can't believe you're just you're still dining out on that 1 week you won. I mean, that's
that's all that mattered. Like, but that one score is I'm still above you on the leaderboard because of that one score.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
And I have improved on that score. I think. Oh my god, not. Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
Oh, big trade. Yeah, you did.
Okay. Oh, I screwed up again. Patience, right?
Yeah, you're right. Rome wasn't built on the day. So
the other thing is
1,638.
Yeah.
In there. 1,638. Run 1. Okay. So yeah, I will be obviously updating our Instagram with that important image at the halfway point. So what else have we done this week, Sean? That's pretty important.
Well, like saying we did it this week, I think is underselling the amount of work we put into this this particular thing. We launched our Patreon.
We did.
Yeah. So do you want to tell people about that while I try and get a decent score?
Decent score. Yeah. No worries. So many of you will be aware what Patreon is already, but for those of you who aren't, a quick kind of summary of it is it's a platform for creators of all kinds of media, entertainment, art, anything creative, really. I'm sure there's even loads more stuff on there that I'm not giving credit for, but it's a platform for those kinds of creators to give behind the scenes access, extra content, bonus materials, draft materials, kind of anything and everything to their fans, to people who are super interested in what they're doing and how they do it.
I think it's for people who are interested in like the process, right?
Yeah. I think that's a much more succinct way of putting it. If you want to know what's going into game design, going into kind of running an indie studio these days, that kind of thing, or you're really into music and you want to know what the songwriting process is like, or you're really into art and you want behind the scenes of how people produce what they do. It's a really great platform to do that, as well as kind of support people who are trying to do that as much as possible. So we're on there, and we launched our Patreon site this week. As Sean said, it was quite a lot of work. So to talk a bit behind the scenes about it already, setting up something like Patreon, they don't just kind of emerge fully formed out of the ground. After you've planted a few seeds, you have to create content, you have to record video, you have to decide on art assets, things like that. A lot of that kind of stuff that you want it to look appealing and professional and exciting and quirky and all these kinds of things, and that just doesn't happen overnight. Like, you have to. It's
surprising like how much. I think it's the same. So Lone Wolf, who's in chat, we've been chatting a lot about what it takes to kind of build a Steam page and kind of market a game on Discord, and there's so much. I mean, like, I really enjoy that side of things, and like writing marketing copy and all that kind of stuff. But that's so hard. It's so hard, right? Like, it's there's a lot to do.
Yeah,
like you said, like you sorry, I remember you said that like we were doing something. I think we were writing like one of the we were
take it easy, big guy.
Yeah. Oh no, not the train is a good, but the thing is, the train's a good drop in terms of a boss because there's hella points on this train, right? Points.
Yeah. You need to rack up your multiplier there before that starts becoming an issue.
I don't know. That seems like Basically, in short, what Dave said was people who write marketing, advertising stuff, you have a lot more respect for those people now.
Oh, 100%. Like, I mean, it wasn't that I disrespected them before, but you're right. Like, I think until you do that yourself, you don't realize how much. And this is coming from the point of view of a writer, right? Like, my bread and butter is how we use the written communication different forms of written communication to get a message across.
Yeah.
And nice second, boss. And you know, like, this is not easy stuff. This takes a lot of time and effort and thought. And I guess what I really appreciated was that this is someone else's job, right? Like, so somebody is works in marketing, works in PR, works in copywriting.
Yeah.
Oh, how did you squeak that? So, you know, to just expect to be able to do it because you've made a game, like, that's crazy, right? Like, that's, you know, just because you've already got the enormous skill set it takes in order to design and implement what is required to make a game doesn't mean that you also have the skills that are required to market it. Wow, that's 2 bosses on one screen. You do not see that much. That's nice. So you know, that really struck me when we were putting our Patreon page together, was that, like, you know, this stuff is not as easy as I think people assume it is. God, you're already there. Wow. Oh.
So I think that was up. Did I go up on that one?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's 3,249.
2,000. I'm going to have some of my rooibos and honey to get me through the next one.
Yeah. So that's basically doubling your previous score, dude. So,
yeah.
You know, like, if you can just keep on that trajectory, your graph's going to look pretty sweet.
Yeah. We're going for hockey stick exponential.
Nice. So that's what we did this last kind of month, I suppose, for us. Really,
yeah. Something else I think we should talk about is we met up with an artist in Cardiff.
We did. Yes, that was super exciting.
Yeah. So I just noticed Lone Wolf said something in chat.
He did. Yes, he's talking about you know, the struggle of getting players to see you and converting that kind of traffic into sales, which is that was in the news. You know,
I was hoping we were going to talk about that today. Actually, that's a big. Do you want to explain that story? Like
Yeah. Well, I've read the Kotaku article. I've read a few like threads onto it, and nothing massive. I'm by no means any expert on what's happening, but it seems that some things that were changed in the Steam algorithm, as well as the Steam payouts, because they're kind of two things that
so it's interesting
but related.
I don't know if it's I have feelings on the payouts, and do you want to explain the payout thing, and then I'll give my...
So the payout... Yeah, okay, so the payout thing is... The basic underlying thing is that the enormous games on Steam, the ones that are earning over 10 million, I think it is, and then over... is it 25 or 50? I can't remember.
It's some, like, unfathomably large number, right? It's just...
Yeah, it's ridiculous, right? So, you know, your really big AAA or massive indie... Even the big indie hits probably aren't...
No, this is the thing. Like, an actual indie game is not making that much.
Yeah. So, they're getting... usually Steam takes a percentage from every sale, right? Okay, and it's quite well known what that is. The argument for these 10 million, and then I think it's 20 or 25 million, would get a smaller cut taken by Steam. So I think it's like something like 20 or 25%. So I think it's down to 20%, isn't it? So it is a reduction.
Basically, if you're making more, like, I suppose it's you get to say that. Yeah, if you're making a huge amount of money on Steam, they're going to take less of a cut.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but with absolutely no recognition there or any kind of slackening for indie developers. Anyone who's making, you know, like, even if they capped at like 1 million or 500,000, like, there would be occasionally indie developers getting a break from that. So like, for us, that's just ridiculous. Obviously, like, it makes no difference, and that's kind of the thing. It doesn't make any difference. It's not like they're saying, right, well, Steam is now going to take more from indie or more from those who are under, say, $50,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just that's staying the same, and it's. I think for us and for a lot of people, what that feels like is it's not it's not damaging, but it's just a bit of a slap in the face, right? It's just like
okay. So I this is where I said I had feelings on it. Is that I have I actually don't. I think that makes sense for them. Like, because like this is kind of getting into hard like businessy facts, right? Selling stuff is expensive. Like people, I don't like it when people say, "Oh, 30% on Steam." What are they doing for that money? Well, actually, like selling stuff, handling refunds, handling credit card companies, handling international sales is hugely expensive. And so if you've got a game that comes out that only sells 100 copies, that is costing Valve more than it's making.
Yeah, sure.
So actually, it does make sense. Like, it makes sense to reward the games that they're making money from, because like I think in a way, like I'm not saying like.
Well, I think that yes, you're right. Yeah, no, I get it. Like Steam isn't a charitable organization.
Yeah.
Like, they are there to make money, to make a profit. I think it's just that kind of. I mean, you got to look at the kind of the reason they did this, right? Like, because not just of how it feels psychologically to
3895.
3895. Let's put it up. Chalk it up. So that's an improvement on the last one, dude. Just so you know. 3895.
Good.
So I think the thing for me is that there's the facts around the issue, and then there's also how the thing plays out.
Yeah, I think that's it.
People's perceptions,
because like you see. Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, like, ultimately, it looks like Steam is giving the fat cats, the big guns, a break, and just saying, well, we don't really care about the people who aren't making lots of money. For themselves and for us.
Yeah.
But you're right, there's way more behind it than that. And I think what I will say before kind of letting you kind of say something more intelligent is that Steam is worried that these games are not going to come to its platform. Like, and rightly worried. Like, I think because of the reasons you've said, it's got to make money, and this is how it does make money. It doesn't make a lot of money from us, for Christ's sake, so it's got to make it from someone, other people. And it's really worried that other people are gonna, like, there's a lot of really high profile things that are now just launching on their own platforms, right? Like, they just don't need Steam anymore. Oh, someone wants to. So Lone Wolf wants to ask a question.
You can ask
taxes.
a question, but depending on, like, you can ask it, but we might not be able to answer it if it's like, if we feel like that would be NDA'd, I guess.
And if we don't know,
that as well.
There's always a chance that we don't know.
Yeah, it's probably a big chance. But fire away, like.
I mean, the other option is if you don't want to ask a tax related question in like a stream chat, you can always just DM us or email us. At Sean@pillbug.zone, or DM us on Discord. And we're very happy to answer questions where we can. So that was big news in Steam World. Recently. And
so like that's the one thing, right? So I guess what I was going to say is, like, when I saw the announcement, they talked about changing the share. There was a feeling of like there was part of me that was like, oh, that was kind of excited, and then my heart sunk when I read it, right? Because then you kind of like, oh, maybe there'll be a chance we'll get a bit more money.
Yes.
Because we had a situation actually with Itch, and again, this is all public information, so I'm okay telling. Like, Itch changed the way they charge their revenue split. Okay, this is like could be really good. I'm going to shut up. Do you want to explain the thing that happened? You can explain. 10.
There you go. It's just gone. Yeah. You can talk now.
I blame Itch.
Yeah.
What's my time on the clock?
Ooh, time on the clock. Sorry, I'll just let me note down that score first.
Yeah. 3-1-1-2.
3-1-1-2. Okay. Time on the clock. 14 minutes left.
14 minutes left. So in that case, I'm going to change. I'm going to make a change. So, right. What am I going to go for? Double drones and multi-shot. Right.
So yeah. Yeah, good. Do you want to explain it, or like?
Well,
actually, I think we should move on to the other big thing.
Yes, let's do the other big thing. Yes, totally.
So you can carry on playing, and I'll try and explain what's happened on Steam. This is a bit like Steam, like all the things we were just discussing. Then Steam have been very upfront about and have made very clear what they were doing, and I think given some suggestion as to why they're doing it, which is all fair enough. The thing that is less transparent, I think it's fair to say, is what has perhaps happened to the Steam visibility algorithms and organic traffic algorithms, things that basically what Lone Wolf was describing in chat help get players to see games that they might not have seen otherwise, but are ultimately kind of interested in. So through things like the tag system, through the games that they are that they already own, and so on and so forth. For instance, we ran a series of YouTube videos kind of under a more like this banner when we started noticing that certain games were coming up in our Steam feeds because we were playing a lot of Cycle 28 during the development. So we thought this is really interesting. Let's talk about these other games. And it seems that they changed something in that algorithm. Okay, nobody really knows necessarily what they changed, but it created a bug that was pushing less organically, shall we say, and more specifically to certain titles and certain.
So, like for a while,
titles, right?
Call of Duty was in the more like this for Cycle 28, like that.
We go. So yeah. So, Call of Duty couldn't be anything less like this. I think it's fair to say. That's a real problem for a lot of indie gamers, indie
gamers as well.
Yeah. No, it's a real problem for players. Like, there's no doubt about it. People find a lot of games that they love through this kind of system because a lot of indie studios, ourselves included. They don't have the money to market in the way that money for marketing, should I say, that a lot of other bigger companies do. Your Call of Duties and stuff like that. But you're right. You can't rely on them for marketing, but what you can, they used to provide a sense of organic traffic, and that was evidenceable and demonstrable. And indie developers were very pleased with how that happens. Like we do things through social media, we do some Facebook ads and things like that, and we can track to a degree what traffic is generated through there and what traffic is just generated through Steam itself. Steam tells you that, or it tells you some of that information. And what indie developers are showing out on Twitter and other social media platforms is that they're from October, when this kind of bug kicked in and was apparently immediately fixed, their organic traffic through Steam has flatlined. Like, not even, it's a dip, maybe things are going not so well. It's like I'm getting half the overall sales, and I can see it's that. And I can see it's from a lack of organic Steam traffic. So that's obviously a real problem for a lot of indie devs. Now, hopefully that's just a matter of time and it will kind of like even itself out, and it really was just an individual bug that has. I suppose
that's the thing that's the worry, is like Valve haven't said anything about it.
No.
And this has been going on for a long time, and there's been people talking about, like, they haven't said, like, if this wasn't by design, you'd have thought they'd have just said, oh yeah, we're working on it. Which is kind of, I don't know, like it. Yeah.
Like, I mean, again, like what we're talking about with Valve charging what they, their percentage cuts for what they, they are entirely, within their rights to do this. This is not like something that, is like cheating people or anything like that. Developers choose to put their game on Steam. There are plenty of other platforms coming out now where.
So I'm gonna like, do you have a choice? Could you release a game on PC without putting it on Steam? as someone like us?
Well, you technically can. It just doesn't mean you're gonna make a lot less money, right?
Yeah.
Like, what'd you get there?
3731.
3731.
Was that not good? What is that?
Well, it's not your best of the night. So,
so I'm going to go back to rear gunner. I'm going to go to reverse multi-shot.
You got 9 minutes. So like, I think there's a lot of like interesting debate to be had here, basically. And I don't like. I just want I want people to appreciate that a feeling of entitlement isn't necessarily what developers should be looking towards with Steam, for instance. But at the same time, like, if a change like that has such a knock-on effect, we should at least be talking about it and making noise about it so people realize that's happening.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. It's like, I think that's important. We haven't investigated the new Epic launcher very much.
I imagine the fact that our game is not made in Unreal would probably
be an
stop
issue.
us. Yeah. Because Discord also has a store on it now.
Yes, that's true.
But
as Ben points out, GOG.
So GOG is so like GOG actually. So GOG is we did apply to go on GOG with both games, and they said no. But they said their no email was actually quite well formed.
Yes.
Which made me feel like, all right. Whereas Humble, so we also tried Humble. But Humble, they just say, I'm afraid we don't have time to do that right now. I was like, okay, right. But at least the guys from GOG were like, yeah, but we think what you're making is cool, but it won't fit for our platform because of this. And they basically said, Cycle 28, they've said, look, we don't put small scope games like that on the service. Yeah, is what they said, right? So,
and that's fair enough.
And you know
someone mentioned asset flips earlier. I think what any platform now has to be have a sense of is how curated are you going to be, right? How and I think players are demanding more curation than ever on their platforms. We found that on on Switch. That was obviously, we were not the vanguard. We were not the early adopters to Switch. We couldn't move as quickly as some people could, but we were still there pretty early. And already people in Reddit and various forums were complaining that they couldn't find anything that they wanted to play on the Switch store because of all the stuff that was just, was either, was just not of the quality they expected. Should we say it that way?
Well, and also the Switch store, unless you
has
know
its
the
own
name,
problems, right? Yeah. We'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Before we get in any trouble. But yeah, so I think any platform now is beholden to that fact of how are you curating your games, and I think doing that is actually really appealing for a lot of players. So I think it's going to be going more towards that model, have Steam as this open, as available as possible platform for all kinds of things. But if you want a certain type of game, then there will be more bespoke platforms out there for you.
Deep. Oh my! How many drones are there?
Oh, that's a lot of Inceptors.
What's my time?
Oh, there we go. 3305. I'm putting this down to the code. I think you're better than this. I think you are better than this. And 3305 for run 6.
And I think the conclusion to all this is, and that's why we create our Patreon community. It's why we wrote. It is I think we talked a lot about it. Is how indie game development is turning more into independent book publishing. Right?
There's some interesting parallels. I mean, people in our stream might not be that interested in self-publishing in the book industry, but there are certainly some interesting parallels between the success stories, how a lot of indie publishing people who are self-published, should I say, because independent publishing is something slightly different. But self-published authors, they're not necessarily the success stories where you've got the guy who wrote The Martian, right? Like Andy Weir, he was originally self-published. And now there's a movie, and he's got a big book deal and all that kind of stuff. but actually, what a lot of self-published authors are doing is actually making a pretty good living, just producing a lot of books to a very specific audience who are massive fans of what they do. You know,
A bare-chested
so they will buy...
man on the cover.
Well, okay, so there are a lot of there is a bit of that, and 9 covers that all look quite similar. But I mean, it's just saying, like, if you like this, if you liked my first 6 books, you're probably gonna like 7 through 10.
I was saying that jokingly, but that was not a disrespect. Like there was no disrespect.
But you're right, it does look a bit ridiculous, like, and it makes it look a bit like it's not proper book publishing. But the equivalent in indie games, I suppose, is those people who are producing a game a year. They're scoped small. But people like what they do, and people buy them in enough numbers, like not best selling or not like, the millions of dollars that other games are making.
Yeah.
But they buy them in enough numbers to mean that that person can continue to make them.
There's a really good GDC talk. If anyone, like, I know there's at least one budding game developer in the chat. You want to go and watch? What's it called? It's called Surviving Without a Hit or something.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
Should we be able to find that?
Was it?
It's the guy that wrote the story about the Steam algorithm.
Yeah,
Gray, what's his name? I'm like rubbish with names. Okay, do you want to?
Yeah, there you go.
Lone Wolf, if you stick it in the Discord, we
It's
can.
All right. I can.
Oh no! That was a really good run. That was a really good run.
There you go. Should be that. Should be able to get to it there, I think. What was the score, Sean?
2607. It was going really well, and then I saw more. What's the timer on, Dave?
I'll let you know just after I've done. So what's going to be interesting to see is also how many runs you can do in the half an hour. So 2 minutes, 15 seconds.
Okay, right. So this is probably going to be my last. I realised as Lone Wolf said, kind of, this game looks cool. Did we really explain this is our game?
Oh yeah, this is Psycho 28, everyone. I just kind of assume everybody knows this by now, but you're right. Yeah, so Psycho 28 is as you can see, retro arcade space shooter, and it's ours. Yes, it's ours. So
okay.
Like second game. That's it. Like, I mean,
let's not because like there's so many people who will know what it is.
But also it's a
game we're proud of. We like it. People like it.
Man, I hadn't played it in a couple of weeks a while back, and man, I just went straight back into it and started having a blast. Like, I know I'm super biased for obvious reasons, but like coming back to this game is actually way more fun than I ever thought it would be. That sounds silly, but like,
yeah, no, I know. Like, I find because you dislike a thing when you're spending so long making it.
Mm-hmm.
I think same with intelligent design, right? Because I was, to go back to developing on that game was very hard to do for me, because I spent like 2 or 3 years on it, but afterwards I was like, do you know what? Like, I found myself playing it and getting lost playing it, and I thought, do you know what? I'm happy with this. And there's lots of people that enjoy it. I need to fire up the Switch version again. I haven't played the Switch version in a while. Oh man, have I got time? Right, I'm starting again.
Ooh, yes, you're still fine. You got one more. What was that last run?
1469.
1469.
Yes, we do have a bundle for our game. The Pillbug bundle on Steam.
Yeah. And the so he Lone asks, what genre would you call this when you have you don't have a lot of progression, but you do have a leaderboard system? So I think that's interesting, because we were talking about incremental games last week, weren't we? So this isn't an incremental game in the same way that like Time Warpers clearly is. But how would you describe that kind of approach to?
It's an arcade game.
Okay, yeah, God, that's the timer.
Okay, I've started, so I'll finish.
Yeah, it's an arcade game. That's like basically the.
It's interesting though, because like arcade games are so different now, right? You could like to us that makes like an arcade game, but you like there are people who that is not, like, arcade games just aren't a thing. The idea of like, oh, you just have to get a high score. What? You know, the idea of no progression. Since Call of Duty 4, like, every game has had a leveling system. Like, I'm being obviously overly generalized. That's not actually true, but, you know, in a lot of ways, that's, like, Everything's an
I mean,
RPG.
that makes
Since
sense.
Call of
Yeah,
Duty
yeah,
4,
yeah.
like everything after that is just an RPG. Well, and
Well, a lot
actually,
of
like,
people-
we've had an
yeah.
argument that I don't think any of them are RPGs, but let's not go
Yeah.
there unless we want to talk about World of Warcraft again.
Yes. Oh, you mentioned it, damn you. So yes, like we had a lot of people ask, "Is this a roguelite?"
Yeah, everyone assumes like,
You know,
is it? I still haven't got an answer to that question.
I don't think so.
Like,
it doesn't feel it to me, but whatever. If people want to call it that, that's fine. But
I think
I'm
it was
pretty
just
sure it's not.
it was the time it released. Everything was a roguelike, so
Yeah.
and like in my head, I guess I've always been thinking about roguelike mechanics.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Oh, boy.
Len saying there are a lot of good reasons it's not that way. But you're right, I think people see a certain few things and think, oh, well, that must be roguelike, but it's not. It's not. In terms of progression, I suppose there are some interesting elements of that. You're not really seeing the upgrade system kind of in its that's
Dave.
the end of the one, in its pure form. But maybe Sean can talk about that in a bit. What was that final score, Sean?
2940.
2940. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to circle your best score. I'm going to take a picture of it for Instagram.
Yeah.
So this is like stream multitasking. I don't
This is
know
like,
if,
and then we're going to get to another level of multitasking now when we
Yeah.
switch, when we stretch. Let's not cross the streams because then we're screwed.
that doesn't work. Yeah.
Um,
So let's have a look at
so,
this.
and if you do have Psycho 28, you could pop in a score now,
Yeah.
and see if you can beat us because we're going to use the monthly leaderboard. So I am now 4th on the monthly leaderboard.
Yeah, and that would the best thing about that is that would really put Sean to shame.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
I'm
about
disappointed
that.
with that. That's less than last month's.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
As you should be, because that was disappointing.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna just set myself up a little bit. So
Okay.
you're doing the timing of me, right?
Yes. But so tell me when you are ready to click start streaming, and then
Okay.
it's seamless. They will not know it happened.
They will not know. I'm
So
sure.
it might
I
go
don't
down.
believe this is gonna work. I genuinely believe this is gonna be a disaster.
Okay.
But
So
okay.
are you ready, Dave? We're going to do this really smooth. Are you ready?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So when I'm going to count down from 3, and then I'm going to say stop streaming, and then you're
Yeah.
going to kind of count, do it 1 Mississippi, and then you're going to say start streaming. You're going to click.
Okay.
Okay. 3,
Yeah.
2, 1. I think it's gone up because the message just came out.
Okay.
So now I've got to
did
get
it work?
onto the
Did it
screen so I
work?
can see you.
Did it work? You can tell
I'll
us if
tell
it
you.
worked.
Just give me a. Are you seeing us? Are you hearing us, folks?
Yeah.
Because it's now done at speed.
There's an ad. Brilliant. Yeah, of course there's an ad. All right. Well, hello everyone. Yeah. So I'm going to be taking over from Sean for the moment. I've got 9 runs according to. So I'm going to show you guys my whiteboard. For those of you
Ooh,
who
the newest seasons of Vikings is coming out.
yeah, I hear that's probably a big thing.
Yeah.
So this is the fabled Pilberg whiteboard. Sean's scores are there. For a better picture of this, follow us on Instagram, and I will get going because got a score to beat.
I had some kind of technical issues of my own here.
Okay,
But you can hear me okay.
I can hear you. Okay, yeah, that's
Okay.
great.
I've noticed that I'm not in the scoreboard there.
Yeah, what's that about? Have I defriended you on Steam?
I don't think so. I wonder if you need to. What is that about?
I don't know.
Let's pretend that isn't happening.
I don't really want to reboot my game though, really, if I can avoid it.
No,
So
let's not.
so let's just ignore the fact you're not there. And
Okay. Oh, I need to start timing in a second.
yeah. So I'm going to go with the ever popular drone gun and multi-shot setup because I think it will just absolutely destroy Sean's score, and
Okay,
I'll be able to
hang
talk
on.
about why that's the case.
Yeah.
In a moment.
So 30. So, are you ready? I'm
Oh,
gonna start
sorry.
this
Yeah.
before I answer Ben's- Ben's,
Okay. Yeah. You put me in, coach.
Okay. Oh, so am I counting you down?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
You are so cheeky. Right, okay, with drone gun, there's no point trying to do your sneaky drone stick around tactics, so I'm just going to get straight in.
Okay. Yeah, Ben. So
right.
So are we getting better engagement through Instagram? That's a good question.
I guess the word better suggests a degree of relativity, right? Like, what is better?
It's interesting because we get like lots of likes.
Where is this guy?
So Instagram compared to like Twitter and so I guess like for us our main things are Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Yes.
In my head.
And Patreon.
And Patreon.
Yeah. Lest we forget.
Yeah. Patreon too.
Oh, this is
bad. So. God, I had a thought then, Ben. You just completely
classic Dave. Ruining
you've had
your
1
thought.
minute.
Please continue to do that. That would be super helpful.
Sure. Okay, Instagram. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah.
Instagram, like, it's interesting because Instagram, when you post something on Instagram and then your phone is like, oh, like, cats _hearts x321 likes your post, and then you see that popping up for ages. And it feels good, and you think, oh, that's a lot of engagement. Whereas Twitter, you maybe only get 2 or 3 likes.
Yeah.
But then, if you actually dig deep into Instagram and look at the number of views, that's significantly less than Twitter.
Okay.
I would say, I think. So I feel like so we talk about, I'm going to get real inside baseball, but that's why you guys are here, I think. Like we talk about this idea of a marketing funnel, which is something like Lone Wolf you want to have in your mind.
Gosh damn it.
Is crikey, all those drones.
Yeah.
Less reach but better engagement. Yeah, I think that's probably a good way of saying it. So like we want to get people into our marketing system, and then like you have the top, and I'm gesticulating, you can't see me. Up the top. Like you just have like
I literally died gesticulating for you.
Yeah. So into the top you're getting new people, and the way you get new people is through organic traffic. Yeah.
Which includes, harkening back to our earlier conversation, that Steam algorithm, right? Like that organic traffic Steam algorithm.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm like being really, really rubbish at talking here because I've got lots of things happening on my screen.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Apparently, acquisition was a word that Twitch did not like.
Ah, okay.
And it was like, it was telling me, hey, do you want cost per acquisition? Is this something you want in chat? We're a bit worried about it.
Yeah. Well, fair enough.
We're okay talking about acquisition on this channel, folks.
Yes, yeah. You can acquire whatever you like here.
Yeah.
including one of our games, I suppose.
Oh,
jeez.
So like, we want to get people in the top, and then you slowly, people who aren't interested in our game, and that's, we're okay with. Obviously, there are people who don't want our game. That's okay.
What?
We're okay with that. We can deal with that fact. Yeah. And they kind of drop out and along the way. But so your whole thing relies on getting new people in and capturing new people. And so that is all about organic traffic. And I feel like on Twitter, you get more organic traffic. Whereas on Instagram, it seems to be mainly people who already follow you. I find. I could be wrong. That's like a gut
That
decision.
could just be the way we're using the platform, right?
It could also be the way, that could be.
Or misusing.
Like, we saw a marketing consultant, and so Cameron, and he said like he seemed to think Instagram is the way to go, right?
Yeah, but I mean, yes, okay, yeah, like Cameron's, like talking to Cameron was super useful, no doubt about it. But sometimes I wonder if it's always just people saying that the newer thing that more kids are on is like the thing now. Like, because like there was a while where Instagram was the big, like everybody's like, oh, Twitter's dead, you should be on Instagram. And then it was like, Instagram's dead, you should be on Snapchat. Like Snapchat's where everyone is. So I have a feeling there's always just a little bit of an element of that. Like you, if one thing's not working for you, then you should try the new thing, right? Like
Yeah, and so so Ben's saying that with Twitter, unless you push and follow aggressively, it's an echo chamber, and I think that is the
that's just true of most social media, I think, really, isn't it?
yeah, I think that's the thing is like you get this feeling that you get this feeling that what am I trying to say? Like there's this weird feeling that like on Twitter we follow game developers and game developers follow us, and like we're all liking each other's stuff, but
where's that really getting us?
We're not buying each other's stuff. Now, I've been talking to some people about this, and it seems to be Twitter. There's like a threshold of like a couple of thousand followers, and once you hit that number, the way the algorithms work is you start to then things start happening then, and that's where you like people take notice of that. But it's like, so like lots of people say that you to get followers, follow people, and they follow you back, and all this kind of stuff. And we did try doing that for a while. But
there's a degree of that, of course there is. But
yeah, and we did it quite aggressively for a while. Like I was like 10 a day. I was doing, and like a number of followers went up, but it wasn't meaningful followers. Like it was
it was follow you back followers.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all weird, man.
This
like,
is a terrible score. I don't know what I've been doing.
Like, you know what works?
What works? Just talking to people. That's what works.
Well, yes, that. Okay, so yeah, what works is going physically. Well, does it? Like, I love doing events. I love doing events.
If you're talking about like actually generating sales through something that's us rather than like, someone else, then yes, I think probably we get more sales from actually talking to people. But like, I mean, talking to people not just physically, but also just just talking to people on social media. Sean, why is this text still on my screen? Oh, there we go.
It's a feature.
It's a feature, yeah. Well, we really want you to read that. That's like super important.
Yeah, yeah. Like paying for Facebook ads. That's like Facebook is built to not send stuff outside. Like it's built to make people not leave their platform. Like, and I would suspect that Twitter is the same way. So, like, if you're not paying them, then if you put a link in a post, it doesn't get as much reach as if you don't. So reach being seen by people who aren't actively following you or have already liked your page. So that's but paying, like, then you get it, but then you're paying.
Yeah.
And then that's a whole other kind of like level of like witchcraftery. And like, is this working or is it not working? Because you can't really track things properly. I was talking to an app developer a couple of weeks ago about this problem. Actually talking about the I think it was the Apple App Store or maybe the Google App Store. A lot of these storefronts won't let you track, won't let you link a visit to, or won't let you track a visit to a buy, right? So what would be really powerful for us? What would be really powerful for us if we know that so much. Nice. You went all the way.
I went all the way with Olivia. Yeah. And, so that's 6,510.
6,500. No, shit, you've already beat me.
I have. I beat you on the first. No, I didn't quite beat you on the first one. Sorry.
Yeah. It's a cold.
Yeah, it has to be.
So, so I was talking to this. So what would be really powerful for us is if we knew like where the traffic was coming from that actually led to sales.
Yeah.
Right. If we knew that people who visit our website, like, more of them buy than people who come from somewhere else, we could invest into getting people to go to that place. And a lot of storefronts don't tell you that information. So like the Android store and the Apple store are examples of that. What developers have been doing is they actually they try and track, they will look at like data from they'll look at data from like where traffic is coming from on their ads and timestamps and try and correlate that with install times and like the first time that you've played a game. so they're kind of coming up with their own system of like, well, you know, someone clicked on our Facebook ad at, you know, 10 to 9, and at 5 to 9 someone installed the game.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make we're gonna say, oh, that probably was that person.
Yeah.
But it's all just like,
that person's got a sweet internet connection as well.
well, I mean, if you're talking about our game, I mean,
you can have this in 5 minutes, people.
yeah, less than 5 minutes. So how much do you normally invest in ads is the question.
Ooh, okay.
Are we okay? We're okay.
I think we can. Yeah, we can talk in broad terms, can't we?
Yeah. So we
have a system that works for us. We have a system
which is that we basically say that
a proportion of our Steam, a proportion of our profit, I think it's fair to say, goes back into advertising.
Yeah. So if we put 20% of what we make 1 month into ads the next month.
Yeah. And God knows if that's the right number. Like that was totally arbitrary.
Came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that just seemed to be a number that was
like fine for us.
I think
something we
my
could
head,
stomach.
Like that was like that's what tax is. So
yeah,
like
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, well, I suppose actually it started out as being like, what was 10% for each game?
Yes. Yeah, that's also another way of looking at it.
That was close.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So like.
As interesting as this business talk is, like, I think at some point you just let me know and I'll start talking about why this build is far superior to what you were playing. And how people who are actually really good at the game play this build and do much better than I am.
Okay, what build are you running?
So I'm running drone gun and multi-shot.
Yeah, I haven't unlocked that yet.
Well, what have you been doing these past year and a half?
Well,
I joke.
The thing is, when you post a high score, you have to then beat that high score to get your next upgrade.
Yes, you do.
So like it's I'm fighting against myself.
Yes, you are. There we go. Right, I'm wasting valuable nanoseconds.
In conclusion, business is hard.
Business is hard.
And really fun. I enjoy
it.
Yeah,
you really enjoy this kind of stuff, right? Like the graphs. You love the graphs. Any excuse to get a graph out.
I love the idea of, like, there's a robot selling our game for us right now. That's pretty cool, I think.
God, I can't believe I just... Yeah, it is.
Well, you see, I'm going to be honest. I don't like the graphs that Steam do.
What, are there not enough colours?
It's the way they present the information, which I can't talk about because that's like behind the scenes.
Okay.
They give you lots of information, good information, but the way it's presented is not useful for what the information we need. So I end up every month taking all that data and regraphing it.
Because Sean loves graphs.
Because yeah, I literally all I've done today is draw graphs. It's my job. I get paid to do it. I love it. It's not all I do, but that's a big part of what I do. For sure. So why does this build work, Dave? Like you've got.
So like this build works because I think it's patently unfair, Sean. I mean, look at that swarm of drones, right? Like.
Yeah, there are quite a few drones there.
So and the reason that's okay, I think it's okay. I think some of these upgrades do have to be stronger than others, but what this does is if like and what I think it's okay as well is that you do have to learn to play slightly with the drone gun build, and you can still lose your multiplayer like I just did. Like it's not that you suddenly become godly, but it is so much easier to keep a 10 times multiplier when you have this level of drone shields around you.
Saying that, like I'm currently above you in the scoreboard. And I haven't unlocked this power up yet.
But you know, but like so again, the difference is someone who actually can use this build properly, because like part of the nuance of the he says getting a terrible score. Part of the nuance of this build is that you have to track and be around your drones kind of as much as possible to get the full benefit from them.
Yeah.
So like if you are the kind of Cycle 28 player that whizzes around the map all the time, right? You are not going to get much from this because you're going to leave the drones behind. They're going to get killed like as quickly as they can spawn, and you don't get the shielding from them. So you have to like I think again, other people may chime in. who have played and got scores in the late teens, early 20s, thousands. I think you have to play slightly, not massively, but slightly different when you're trying to take full advantage of these drone swarms.
Yeah, no, it's like, that's one thing I'm really proud of, is that there's a fair amount of depth with the I think there's a lot of depth with the power-ups and stuff.
Yes, yeah. For a relatively small number, like we don't have hundreds of power-ups like some games do.
Yeah.
This is like 10 bespoke power-ups that will.
Is it 10?
It's 10 upgrades. Yeah.
It sounds like the number we'd have picked. But yeah. So the other thing we've been doing is we've been working on Game 3.
Game number 3. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we didn't get to talk about the artist. That's what we were doing.
You have 14 minutes and 4 seconds remaining.
Thank you, dude.
Wait, no, 2, 1. 13 minutes and 59 seconds. Yeah, so we met with Hannah, who is an artist.
Yep.
Sorry, there was a big bang noise as my dog. I hope everything's okay.
Yeah.
So Hannah is an artist. Who I've worked with on a board game, and we met with her in Cardiff because we're kind of like, we're going to start, like, we wanted to get the Patreon page done, and so we got that done, and now we're working on our 3rd game, and we were kind of trying to figure out the aesthetics that we wanted
some
for it.
Sweet flying. Yeah.
There's a lot of bullets there.
Yeah. Threaded that needle.
So yeah, what do we say about that? I mean, I don't know what to. I want to do. I feel like we should do like a Patreon video for, like, putting our minds on the page for what is in the game. Or
yeah. I think we will. It's a good behind the scenes kind of thing. But yeah, we are excited about the other game. We've been talking about that, I suppose, for like our other streams as well. Playing games that kind of we want to draw inspiration from for that game. Last week it was Time Warpers. What else have we done?
We played Factorio. That's what we started with.
Yeah.
Factorio vid. And we played Farlone Sales.
Farlone Sales. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we'll show people. People will start to get a sense of perhaps what we're making from that.
Yeah. It's quite interesting. I suppose for us with this game is we're trying to figure. When you're designing a game, and it's not just designing a game; it's like designing the production of the game and figuring out what order things need to happen.
Yeah.
So we know that Jordan, the musician who did the amazing music for Cycle 28, and he's going to be free for around, like, he's free at like March or something, right? We know that we're in a position where he can write the music then. So then we have to be thinking, what do we need to be done? How do we know, like, when?
Because he needs to see certain amount of things before he can do what he does best, right? Like, so we want to give him a prototype that's going to help him write the best music for the game that he can. So that means that our game needs to be at our prototype needs to be at a certain point before we can do that.
We need to have an aesthetic kind of pinned down. Yeah, I think
a certain amount of decisions, that we want. Like just obvious stuff, right? Like how many minutes of music are we going to need?
Or, like how long is a level? Like how long is a thing going to last? I mean, it's
just stuff I'm chasing. I need some multiplier before I go down for that boss.
Yeah, because at the moment we're kind of focusing on the kind of core game design.
Yeah.
I think, like, hopefully try and do some prototyping over Christmas.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I'm going to take a couple of weeks off work to rest as well. But I think that would be a good time to just kind of sit down and prototype something.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the kind of thing we're going to share with... share on
bad. Okay, so that was 7,191.
7,000. That's pretty. That's a healthy score.
Yeah.
So you have 10 minutes left.
Okay. I'm gonna try and push the 10k. That's my personal best for those.
Yeah. So what? Yeah. Any idea what what's my personal best?
It's higher than that. Didn't you get 12 or 13?
Possibly. Oh, did I get to 15? I remember beating. Did I beat the 10k barrier on stream?
Yeah, no, I did that. Well, no, maybe we both did. I remember that because it was one of my probably the best day of my life.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think it was the crowning achievement of months of hard work. So, you know, there's that. Yeah, I really loved Far Lone Sales, as I think my videos attest. I just killed that carry too quickly. I fell in love with that game, like big style.
I think the thing that I really like about it, and it's kind of the same vibe I got from playing what's it called? Oh man, it's a bad story. The pirate game. What's the pirate game?
Oh, you really liked Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. Yeah. So like Sea of Thieves, I think what's really nice is running around your ship doing stuff.
Yeah.
That's really vague, but like
being a pirate.
Like, I'm going to run over to the sails, and I'm going to point the sails in the right direction. I'm going to run over to the anchor, and that's going to... And this idea, like, because, you don't have direct control over the vehicle, I guess.
Yeah.
You have direct control, but you're walking around controlling it.
Yeah, it's. I think indirect control is actually a really good way of describing that, right? Like, you are having an impact on that, but it's not direct.
There's this moment that happens a lot in Sea of Thieves, and where you've got 5 of you, you're in a team of 4 and you're on a big galleon or whatever. And everyone's standing around, you're sailing and the wind's blowing and you've got full wind behind you and everyone's standing around. It's like, who's on the helm? And then before you know it, you hear the crunch and you're all down, like, patching things up. But yeah, I love that feeling of, I guess as well for me, part of it is there's something impressive about that technically, that you're on this moving thing in a game, like you're on this moving vehicle that exists in the game. I haven't played it, Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time, but I've seen it, and it's
I
right?
played it. Yeah, it's loads of fun. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I really like that game. I think that's like it's like, I think what we may well take from Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time is, like, if we do try and implement any kind of multiplayer, it will be kind of on that basis, and I think it would work. Like obviously a game like Far Lone Sales doesn't necessarily make sense to have a lot of multiplayer going on, but like, I think if that game was going to do something like that, it would like take that kind of form a bit, I suppose. But yeah, I did really enjoy it. I think, like, Lovers in Dangerous Space, I've only played it on Switch, and actually I think I really enjoyed it on Switch for a lot of the reasons that couch co-ops just work really well on Switch as well. Yeah.
It's got that same feeling. Like, I think it's in the same kind of, like, spectrum as something like Overcooked as well, right?
Yes, yeah. Or at least in my mind they are. Those kind of, like, equate quite well.
Yeah, I think, yeah, there's some interesting... I like that kind of thing. It'll be interesting to see whether we capture that feeling.
Some things about it. Oh, what is this? Why am I bothering with this shield chip? They're not enough points.
Well, you get some points on them. They're pretty easy to kill.
Yeah, but that one seemed more difficult than it really should be. I've killed, like, no end of gunships, but no carriers this run, and I think that's why.
You've got 6 minutes remaining, and a single run is 6 minutes, so the next one will be your last run.
Yeah. Or I could just, like, shirk off this run, because I don't think it's been very good.
Well, yeah, I suppose you could get an extra run that way.
If I wanted to game the system.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I think I'm just... Yeah, there we go. That one's gone. 4207.
Yeah, my voice is giving up, guys.
Oh,
I apologise.
Right, let's do this thing.
Nice. So yeah, I mean, like setting up dude, the one thing we're talking about, go back to the game development. Like, again, they have absolutely zero reason to do this, but I really wish all storefronts would have the same aspect ratio for every image you needed, because they're all different enough that it makes it a real pain.
Yeah, I think, like, to be honest, like, we were talking, excuse me, we were talking about, like, you know, developing marketing skills as a game dev, because, like, and we were talking about writing copy, but I think actually, for me, like, one of the biggest areas I've gained skills, and I'm really grateful to Pillbug for, is that, like, for video and video editing, like, that was something I had not really done a hell of a lot of before, and this was, like, necessary. But also, like, just visual, well, it's graphic design, isn't it? That's what I'm struggling to say. Graphic design. Like, you have to just get on that, unless you're going to be able to pay someone to do all your graphic design for you whenever you decide to do something new, whether it's Twitter, Patreon, whatever, setting up your website, whatever. If you can't do that, like, you're going to have to learn how to do that. And like, stupid stuff like aspect ratio makes a difference.
I think that's something I'm really proud of with what we do. Like, to toot our own horns for a second, like, I sent a link to our Patreon page to someone yesterday, and they replied, and they said, you know, you can tell how much effort you put into this.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that's something we tend to do, and I think that's something to always focus on, like, as a general advice. It's so important to spend time on that and get that right, and I think that like, getting someone to do the logo, man. Oh, well, okay, so a great Patreon post we're gonna have to do is, originally I was gonna do my own logo for Pillbug. Have I shown you those pictures?
No, I don't think you have, actually.
Okay, so that can, I'll put I need to write that down somewhere.
Stick it on Trello.
Stick it on our to-do list. I can post that on as a Patreon only post. So
Sean's original logo.
Sean's
is it as awesome as I hope it is?
Oh man, there was a time, like, I was like sending these. Oh man, they're bad.
I'm sure they're not.
I didn't think they were
bad, but, well, I mean, I guess, like, you've now got a frame of reference, haven't you? So
the problem is I'm now comparing it against
exactly
the logo that Ace did, and like, Ace did a really good job.
Yes.
Yeah, it's tough if you don't, without a budget. I mean, it's just hard. Like, it just is. I mean, like,
everything's hard without a budget, right?
Yeah.
You just have to do it yourself and do the best you can. That's what we end up doing, right?
You've got 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay,
2 minutes.
Cool.
2 minutes 15.
So I started, so I finished. That run was bad.
I think that's something else that is kind of like, well, it wasn't necessarily eye-opening, but like intelligent design, like when you end up spending money on something, that was a big step. Like starting a business and then actually, like, putting, because like we put so much time into this stuff, but for some reason you don't ever associate that with a cost.
No, but it is. It 100% is, because you make money with your time in other ways, right? Like, at least most game devs, either you're making money purely through development, or you've got a day job that actually earns you money.
One thing I would say is that if you try and do some of this stuff without a budget, we found a pretty good tool set. Of a set of tools that we use that are free. Yeah,
like all the stuff we use are free.
All the tools we use are free. Like, and they're good. They're good. And we do all, Well,
we're quite happy with them. Yeah,
we're happy with it. We want, like, one of our Patreon goals is to actually to be able to buy, like, Adobe Studio. That's something we want to do.
But that means I'm going to have to learn something new.
Yeah, but you'll be learning something that's going to have a lot more people telling you how to do it.
Yeah. It'd be a bit better. You see the results. Like, we get by. I think we get by quite well on what we do, but that's because we don't really have much choice. And we make the best with what we have, and I think that's what indies kind of always have to do. And there's an element of being like a scrappy indie, right? Like you don't have all the tools that, like, the Sony marketing team have, or the Devolver Digital team have. You've just got you.
And I think something to bear in mind is to lean into your constraints. and to think, what can I do? And then, like, I mean, look at the art style for this game, right?
Yeah. I mean, we love it, but it's also not everyone's cup of tea because it's not what people necessarily expect. Oh my good God!
Yeah. We don't even use Photoshop. We
Paint.
We use Paint.net.
Paint.net is amazing.
Inkscape. That's the timer.
Right, so I better survive. Yeah, better survive. It's not been a brilliant run so far, but
yeah. So what were we saying?
How we're cheap and we don't have Photoshop.
Yeah, that we're leaning into constraints. This art style.
Yeah.
But then, like, what we could do is put loads of stuff on the screen.
Yes, because of that.
So, like, I think it looks. I mean, like, obviously we think it looks good. Otherwise, we wouldn't have released it. But like the smoke effect, I'm really proud of that smoke effect. And it's really simple. It's just circles. Like it's just different color circles.
Fortunately, I'm currently on fire, so you can see it.
Wrote some maths to make it look good.
The old maths to make things look good.
Yeah. But I find, and as well, like lots of simple effects, when you put them together, they start to look dynamic and interesting. And hey, I drew that Starfield. I was like super proud of that. I still am. I think it's like I know it's simple and like you think, oh, it's just dots, but there's kind of more to it. Like there was several iterations.
Yeah, those dots don't just draw themselves. It was a bit like we were talking about other things. Like they're simple, they're straightforward, but they don't just kind of spring out of like thin air. Like you've got to put the time and effort into doing that.
It's still like a lot of reading about color palettes, a lot of reading about animation, and like a lot of looking at other games and how they, like that bullet, right? So the bullet has to tell you what, like you have to look at it and immediately see what direction it's going in. Yeah. And that's why it's not a circle.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. I mean, I think that's interesting.
Even the ships, right? So the ships have distinct, each ship has a distinct silhouette.
Yes.
You can tell your ship has a very different silhouette than the others. And you can see that, right? Like you can, they're kind of almost reversed. So Frog Detective, I have started hearing people talk about Frog Detective game on podcasts, and I want to check it out. I haven't looked at the art style yet. But yeah, this is the other game that came out by the guy that did Papers, Please. I can't remember the name of the game, but it's all kind of drawn. It's like it's about a ship that, like, you're an insurance person.
Insurance salesman.
Yes, you're investigating. Like no, you're not a salesman. You're like the person who comes in.
The investigator. Yeah, see if there's fraud.
The investigator afterwards, and you're trying to see what happened to all these people that died on the ship.
Oh, cool.
And it's kind of got this kind of black and white art style. Of course.
Oh dear, yeah, that's end. 5,800. Okay. So right. I got one fewer run than you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's a bad thing, right? Because that means I died before the end of the run.
Yeah. So you can see.
That's the one. Return of the Obra Dinn. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, that art style did look really cool. So my fifth run, let me get this. There we go. And then Sean, womp womp. Not so much.
Do you want to have a look at the monthly leaderboard, see if anyone posted anything while we were playing? I don't know.
I thought I saw Ben log in.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Main menu, monthly leaderboard. There you go. Oh, Ben just beat both of us. Brilliant. Good work, dudes. Very nice. Making us look like chumps on our own stream.
Ben wins. Right. Okay.
Yeah, brilliant.
Well, we achieved nothing.
Excellent. No, that really puts a cherry on the cake for me of a good evening. Yeah. Firstly, beating Sean, which is always nice, but then having one of our own players actually just shows how it's done. But one go, yeah, just do it. You know, just pop in, put up a casual 9,000, and then head out. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Work here is done. Okay, so on that rather dispiriting note, thanks everybody for popping by on the Pillbug dev stream. It's been good to get back to Cycle 28 and the friendly rivalry between me and Sean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, thanks for everyone. A few people followed us tonight. Thanks for that. Do check out our Patreon.
Yes, do.
And I'll just chuck it in the Twitch chat because then you know where to go.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you sign off, Dave, because my voice is like...
Oh, yeah, bless you, dude. Okay, thanks, everyone. Many of you are already liking and subscribing on whatever formats you're watching, but don't forget to if you're not already. Check back in next week when Sean hopefully isn't dying in the background, and we'll be playing...
Is it me? Am I bringing a game? Is it your turn?
It's you, isn't it? Because didn't we do file loan sales last?
No,
we did time warpers. So it's me. Okay, exciting. Yeah. So we'll be playing a brand new game and talking about game development as ever. Tuesdays 8 PM. See you then. Bye.
Thanks, guys.